Boom. I am live. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. I give out free advice, and disclaimer, it's not financial advice, just a little bit education on what's going on in the market, because we're in a weird time with crypto in general and just the world, because we're flooded with bad news and everybody has such big different views between politics to whatever, right? There's a gigantic wealth gap, and I believe crypto is one of those emerging markets that you can not get rich, but you can definitely get wealthy in. So let me just talk about what's going on in the crypto markets. And I know yesterday, if you watched my YouTube channel, you know that, this last video here. Oh, no, I need to change the cover of this damn live stream here. Yeah, the cover, I need to update that. Oh, well. Who cares about the cover? I'll change the cover in just a second. But no, if you saw my YouTube video of this guy yesterday, I was talking about the CPI numbers and potentially, we might see a pump. We might break down, but it's looking like the market has responded. And I talked about the price being built in, where this dump here was the rejection, and the built-in was all for the CPI price coming up here, right? And what is that CPI? Well, it's 9.1. The feds and everybody was saying it was going to be like 8.7, and people were wanting it to be 8.1, but it was actually 9.1, which is a problem, which is a big problem, because it just shows you that interest rates are going to go higher and inflation is taking over, which is making the dollar more valuable. This is the dollar, right? And the dollar index here is at 107. The euro index here is at 100. So it's becoming more deflationary, and, the dollar is becoming more inflationary, right? Because of everything that we're doing here. If I look at what's going on between Bitcoin and, let's say, Ethereum, well, I guess the stock market, right? The stock market, these guys, people say that they're not correlated together, but look at these. They look damn near, I'm on the daily. What does this look like to you? It looks relatively like the same pattern. We've got a sideways market here on the S&P 500, which is essentially, stocks, the whole stock market, right? Boom, we're underneath the 200-day, underneath the 200-day. It looks identical. When stocks are doing well, crypto is doing well. When the dollar is not doing as well, crypto is doing well, right? Here, April 2021, where are we at on April 2021? Boom, 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 right? Crypto's doing really, really well. So it's interesting. So this guy, as it keeps just going bonkers, then we're not going to see crypto do as well. It'd be nice to almost see the dollar, being lower in value, right? And crypto would be doing well. But that's just something to kind of look at. I guess if, let's look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And they're kind of stuck in the same pattern here. They're stuck in the same pattern with the same thing as I was saying with the S&P 500 is we're in a range. There's no trend right now. You want to say, yeah, the trend is down on Ethereum and down on Bitcoin, right? Because it's going down. Looking at this chart, you would say, hey, this is in a bear market. And I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. But something big is happening. And it's going to pop, right? And how is it going to pop? Well, again, These Bollinger Bands, whenever they squeeze, they pop. Do you see the last time we squeezed? We popped down. We squeezed. There's a good chance that we're popping down. As of right now, though, I went long, right? I went long at 19,325. We're at 19,810 right now. So these are old numbers, right? Entry price on Ethereum, I went long at 1,048, and Ethereum is at 1,086. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do on Ethereum is, let me get rid of the Bollinger Bands, is I'm going to lock in some profits, okay? Because I've gotten a fairly decent gain. I've almost got my cost basis right there. So where am I going to put that stop loss and take profit, right? So I'm not actually going to sell anything yet because, my targets, right? Because I went long right here at the bottom yesterday. I'm thinking about opening on a Patreon so that I can actually post exactly when I decide, because I was telling everybody, even on Around the Blockchain yesterday, I was saying, hey, if we break down below this, I am going to go short. I'm going to go short. That is a really bad arrow. This is a much better arrow. I'm going to go short. But what happened is we started getting a retracement, and we almost got a completely engulfing candle as of right now. Got 6 days. If I zoom back, boom, we're over. This is a bottom, right? This is a complete bounce off of it. So for me, that was enough for me to go long. But I had to have a tight stop, okay? So I went long here. I put my stop right here, right under $1,000, because I'm like, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I need to get out. And my profit target is resistance, because I don't know if we're going to get out of this range. Yes, I'd like to see us get out of this range, but I'm not sure. This is very difficult to trade because you have to follow your strategy. You absolutely have to follow your strategy. Again, if you're new, you want to have these big moves. These big moves, up or down, you want to be a part of these big moves because you can be a little bit higher of a leeway of what's going on. Okay, so I've got my stop, and then here's my profit target. So I'm risking 1 to make 5. That's a good trade for me, okay? And I used 0.5% of my trading account on it because I thought, hey, this is 3 touches here. It's just like you think of a wall, like if you have a hammer to a wall, and if you're trying to break down and demo the hammer, well, demo the wall, you're going to hit the wall multiple times, and it's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker, and eventually it's going to break. Well, if we look at our chart, right, just completely technically, not looking fundamentally, okay, what do we have here? Hammer wall. Hammer wall, hammer wall, hammer wall. Is the bottom more weaker than the top? Well, I guess we could maybe consider that. So it's 3 to 4 on Ethereum, 3 to 4. So if you're just looking statistically, I would say that the bottom is a better chance of it breaking through just technically, okay? But this is my target. Going short-wise, if I get rejected, short-wise, have I even made a profit target on going short on Ethereum? I need to look at this a little bit more to see where I would see any sort of resistance and support, because I don't have a plan in action just yet. Okay, so I guess I would maybe. Okay, let me look over the volume here. Boom! Look at all that pressure here. The next real pressure is down here. So I was just looking potentially here at 800 for a catch, but really the nice support is at 650, right? The next area of support is 650 to maybe 800, right around this area. So let's restart my chart here. And then get this up here so you guys can see a little bit more. That's the next area if I was to go down. But right now, I'm going long. So far, it's doing fairly well. I haven't there's nothing for me to take profits yet. But what I have done is I have moved my stop to right above 1,000. Okay, so no matter what, I moved my stop. Let me look back at this. At 1,040. Okay, so because of this, I'm going to move my stop to 1,040. So $40 lower here. So that brings me just a little bit above. Okay, so I'm not going to have any trading fees or anything. I will be net positive for sure. Now let me look at Bitcoin, and I'll go over my trade with Bitcoin. We'll get the MACD out of the way because the MACD's looking good. It's following. There's no divergence. It's all convergence, right? You know, this maybe there's a little bit of divergence because of the fact that this guy isn't lower than this guy, right? So if I'm looking at this, this is a low because this is a low. This is touching that same low. So we should really be down here, but we're not. We're higher. This is a higher low. But on the chart, the actual candles, it's not a higher low. Maybe barely briefly. So I would almost say that this is a divergence. Okay. I can already see that we're having a hard time getting over 20,000 here. But pretty much it's the same. I'm trading Ethereum and Bitcoin pretty much identical with both positions because they follow each other so closely. Okay. So we'll open this back up. I was at 19,325 yesterday is when I went long. I have not, I'm not in as good of a profit yet for me to move my stop. Okay. So same thing here. I'll show you where I decided to put my stops yesterday. And again, I'm thinking about opening up a Patreon, so I will show you guys all of this before I enter a trade. And you know where you could see it, because this is what you need to do every time you're going to enter a trade. All right, the Ethereum trade's actually a better risk versus reward. This one's a 1 to 3. Right, I'm risking 1 to make 3. Again, I put in 0.5 of my position on my trading account, so nothing huge because of I'm playing support and resistance. Right, this guy is going like this. Okay, and could have thought that the CPI number for June could have gotten a bigger pump, but in reality, we got a pretty big pump. Okay, we 18,860 to 20,000, right? Boom. You know, we pumped up $1,500. That's a pretty good trade right there if you were to catch the exact bottom and sell the exact top. I'm not that good. No real trader I know is that good. Maybe a day trader that was sitting there watching the timing of it, they probably could have gotten there, but not me. So stop relatively right around 18,000 because that's telling me, hey, I'm wrong. We're going even lower. And, you know, my profit target is right around where we've hit before, about 22,000. Okay. And I would take profit. I would move my stop so that I'm not risking anything more. I'd sell half the position if we made it to here, and I'd leave maybe a little bit open. Okay, I'd leave that extra 50% open just in case we were to break here, because the last thing you want to do is have that feeling of, oh, yay, euphoria of, boom, I am right, I made money, and then all of a sudden have it go through the roof, and you're like, man, my 200% profit could have been 500%. That's a horrible feeling. That's why you move your stop so you don't lose any money, and you always leave a little bit of your position open just to catch it, right? Just to catch it. Yes, you can play the whole game like, oh, why? Don't even sell. Don't even sell, because, you know, you could have made way more if you didn't sell half your position. Okay, but that's not risk management. That is not risk management. You need to sell a little bit to pay for all the other losses. If you don't sell, you're only going to sell when the trade goes your wrong way and you always get stopped out. That's not how you do it. Looking at the 12-hour, we are now red here. We did have an engulfing candle. If I look at the 8-hour still looking strong. 4 hours looking strong. I guess if I want to look at some indicators, MACD is one of the ones that I really like, because you can just go crazy with all of these. Stochastics is one that I like. You know, of course, RSI is one that I like, but they're always delayed. You know, they're delayed indicators. Okay, so if I just look at that, these are relatively at the bottom here on the 4 hour, okay, which is telling you, hey, it's following suit of what the pump is. So this having right here, especially the cross, happened 4 hours ago. It's always delayed. 8 hour, oversold. RSI is under the 50. Like to see that. 12 is looking good. Daily. Yeah, okay. This is all looking good for having a pump back up to support. So I like it. I like it. But again, you don't just trade off of these indicators, right? I am more of a look at me. I'm just drawing. Want me to draw a picture? I can make a dirt bike helmet here. Does that look like a dirt bike helmet? How about, does that look like a Bitcoin to you? Okay. I'm not very good at drawing. At least, you know, on a computer here. I'm really good at tracing. I could probably trace the shit out of this. Okay. Moving that back here. So I'm just going to sit back, let it happen, see what happens, let the news do its thing, and watch price action, okay? Because we are in an area right here where there's just so much pressure, buying and selling pressure. If we break above this, boom, again, there's nothing in the way. We break below this, nothing's in the way. Bollinger Bands are telling me we're compressing. It's like a spring. Boom. We're going to get ready to just explode. So that's what I want to be a part of. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good hump day. This is Johnny Crypto. I'm here to help you guys make some money. Please like, subscribe, you know, ask a question in the comments. You know, I'm here to help. And now's honestly, I keep saying this, now's a good time to be saving up some money in cash so that you can dollar cost average in. Because again, if we're looking at the S&P 222 normal SPY, you know, if we're looking at it, stocks are not doing that well. Everything is getting hit. Everything is getting hit. Is the S&P 500 getting ready to make a move too? I'm almost positive that the Bollinger Bands. No, Bollinger Bands are fairly sitting here. So no, not the same scenario for the stock market as it is for crypto. Just for giggles here. Let me just randomly look at some of these other stuff. XRP. Let's look at XRP. No, let's get the Fibonacci retracement out of here. Fibonacci. Dude, it's funny how much this stuff follows Bitcoin. Just follows Bitcoin. Everything stuck in that range, right? But again, on the bottom, we're looking for XRP to break below because we got, I would say this is one touch, this is one touch, this is one attempt, this is one attempt. That's 4 attempts. We're on the top, again, you know, you have a false breakout here. Boom. 3 to 4. So, yes, am I kind of trading against the trend? Nah, there is no trend right now. So, there's no trend. There's no trend until we break below again. Got the drawing out here. No trend until we break below or break above. Okay, I'm looking for higher highs, lower lows over the last, what is this? Month, right? Almost looking at a month. Okay, we're looking at 28 days. We've just had consolidation, right? Everyone's loading their positions and waiting for something big to happen. So, hey, what's up, Liberty in Trust? Thanks for the comment, my friend. There's no trend. Anybody that tells you there's a trend, we're going down, long term, yeah. Bear market. But we are in a consolidation, sideways action, in a bear market. This is an indicator of the bear market, is at 200-day. Okay. Consolidation, nobody can argue. We're sideways. We're waiting for something fun to happen. So if you're here watching this stuff while there's nobody's really making money, right? Good for you. Good for you, because only the masses get involved when this happens, okay? And the majority of the time, masses get involved right at the top, and they start buying Doge and all these meme coins because that's what they see on their reels and on their TikToks and everything, okay? Money was made down here. Money was made down here. The last full Bitcoin, actually, I can't say that. Back then, I bought another Bitcoin at an average price of 10K, okay? But being completely honest, my last Bitcoin was bought here, okay? You know, I spent $28,000 on my Bitcoin. Kind of feel like a dumbass right now that we're at 19, you know? But that's long-term investing. That wasn't trading for me. I saw a sideways market, and I thought, hey, this is a good entry point because over the long term, I want to be involved in something. Because if I, you know, look at the overall of crypto, it's gone up. It's gone up in value because this is a chart I love to show. Okay, this is a chart from the inception, basically, August 10th. August 10th, 2010, right? Till where we are now at 17,000. What does this look like to you? The market for cryptocurrency as a whole. This to me looks like we're in a trending market, uptrend. So you would be okay over the years if you bought low, bought a small little retracement here, bought low. What is that? Bought low. Because if this chart continues to play out as it's been doing, gosh dang it. Look at this. Well, we'll just have, okay, let me just get rid of this. So I'm live here. I'm not editing this, so you guys can just bear with me, unfortunately. So if I just have a trend line, okay, realistically, this, you want to have multiple touches, okay? This is a little too vertical. So I'm going to say here, and I'm not a huge fan of these horizontal lines. I mean, you know, vertical line angles. I'm more of a horizontal resistance and support type of a guy. But anyway, this is just fun to look at. So if this continues, right, by 2030, what is the price of Bitcoin? Okay, it's damn near that is a ridiculous number here. Absolutely ridiculous number. I don't think we're going to get there. Okay, but that just shows you, you know, even if we do something like this, you know, what would be $1 million Bitcoin? It's just got to follow this trend. Okay, and we've been beating it. We've been beating it for $1 million there. And I guess historically, I like this chart too because you look at stochastics and RSI. Yes, they're a delayed indicator, but if you're going to invest, well, it's not bad to look at over the long term because, again, this is over the last decade. I'm looking at 2010 to 2022 as of right now, and it shows you what's a good time to buy crypto. Well, it's a good time to buy crypto when the RSI is under 50, and it's a good time to buy crypto when the stochastics is oversold, under 20. Okay, so right here, this was 2011, right? Boom, it was under, and it stayed under for a long time. How long did this stay here? A year. Stayed under for a year, right? Next one was 2015, crash of 2015. When did it stay under? Okay, stayed under for about a year. Bitcoin was at $100. Bitcoin went from $1,000 to $100. Crashed by 90%, right? Think you could have gotten in there and wish you would have gotten there? Oh, abso-effing-lutely. Okay, let's keep looking at this. I want to keep this open for you guys. Yeah, we'll just go again. So here's another one for the stochastics. How long did it last before it pumped up? 151 days. Okay, right? So the previous ones were a year long. This one is relatively a little bit over 6 months. But Bitcoin was at 3,000 and it crashed from 2017 to from about 20,000, right? Boom. Wish you would have gotten in there at $3,000. Well, what's just happened? What has just happened? We have broken down under the oversold range, right? So if history has a way of rhyming, not necessarily repeating itself, this is a good opportunity to buy Bitcoin long term. So let's just say we go 300 days. That's April of 2023 before we start getting out and Bitcoin starts exploding, okay? Because we just started it. Yes, do we probably are going to go a little bit lower? Yeah, probably. But now is a good time, historically, to hold on to Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin, dollar cost average in. I guess if we want to say, hey, this last cycle, lasted 151 days of the stochastics going. I'm not talking about the halving cycle. I'm just talking just sheerly about this technical chart here. So if I was to do the same math, let's just say if we were close to the 150 days, right? That's December of this year, right? December of this year before we start where we see the bottom. Where we see the bottom and we pop up. Okay, I'll get rid of that. Let me load back into my chart. Look at all the drawings I have, man. I'm not just great at drawing. I'm just great at drawing. But December, okay? By that logic, you could see the bottom is somewhere around here. Okay? Somewhere around this area. That's where we got to get to. By then, do you think that we're probably going to go down to potentially my bottom here of 12,000? Yeah. Yeah, totally. Absolutely see that happening where we could go down here and then eventually bump back up here. Okay? But I'm giving you a little bit too much involved, right, for today. What we were basically talking about is where I was thinking short term here. Long term, it's going to be a little while. Short term, we could absolutely bump. We're having some resistance here at 20,000 where we don't want to break above that, but it's still midweek. Stuff is happening in the markets. This is all run fundamentally, right? This is all run fundamentally. But most of the traders and big money out there, they're watching these same lines, okay? But they're not afraid to break below. It's not like these things are set in stone, okay? They're probably going to have a pin bar, where a pin bar is these darn lines, okay? A pin bar is these darn lines that break down. That's like a huge, giant dick liquidation candle. They're usually not that pronounced, but, they're pretty pronounced before they find a level of support like we did over here, okay? You look at anywhere on the chart, and you see these giant pin bars where you have a level of support. So if I was just to delete this, here's a level of support, okay, because we've got multiple touches. What do you see? You see a pin bar, right? Pin bar. Liquidation candle is all that is, okay? So if you are trading and you want to just be wary that don't put your deal right at a 20,000 even. If you should have wiggle room, say, hey, I think that it's not going to go below 19,000. Well, your stop should be at 18,560 or something because of these pin bars. You don't want to accidentally get liquidated. Trust me, because this has happened with me multiple times, and you want to throw stuff because you're like, WTF, how in the fuck did I just get liquidated? And then it completely just bounces right back up to where I was in profit. You don't want to do that, okay? Stop should be a little bit lower behind that. And, most high-end bots and everything, that's how they trade with the algorithm. So anyway, I think I've been rambling on for a while. This is Johnny Crypto. Thank you for watching. I'm trying to do this every day. Maybe not go live. I might have some other stuff, but just ask questions. And Liberty, you rock, big boy, around the blockchain. Always. Hey, I appreciate going on around the blockchain. I've got different views than a lot of those guys, but I can learn from a lot of guys that have different views than me. You know, there's a saying that an intelligent man looks around himself and a wise man looks within himself. So I can bring my own experiences to the table, and definitely I can be inspired by other people's experiences, because experiences define who we are and our actions that we take moving forward. And, you know, we all get there in different aspects of life. You know, people are good at multiple things. Small little ramble. Hey, if you want to learn how to panhandle, you go find the homeless guy down the street. He's going to be better at it than you. If you want to learn how to trade, maybe you get some information from somebody like me, maybe Crypto Face. You know, if you want to learn, it's all relative, right? You want to learn how to ride dirt bikes, you go find somebody that's good at riding dirt bikes, because the best experience is not your own. Meaning, if you can find somebody like a mentor that has failed before, it's best to pick their brain, because you'll learn from their failure. Same thing with Thomas Edison. If he had somebody that already made a light bulb, you know, he wouldn't have spent 10,000 times trying to build the damn light bulb, because he would have already had it in front of him on how to do it. How much time he could have saved, he could have added to the light bulb. But I don't know if that was a good analogy at all or anything. But anyway, till next time, I'm here to help you guys make